talk to the camera. Hi, so Dr. Mink will be out shortly, but we're going to start today's movement with some warm-up. So go ahead and rotate your neck. You can stand with your feet about hip width apart. If you'd like to now rotate it both clockwise and counterclockwise. And then look down, look forward, look up, and then down, forward, up again. Just move, getting some movement here. Go ahead and look over each of your shoulders, and then forward. Kind of just slowly at your own pace. And if you make eye contact with a yogi or yogini, you can smile. Go ahead and bring your chin over to your right shoulder and press it down. And up and over to your left shoulder. Very good. Lift and roll your humerus back. Lift and roll. Lift and roll. And then lift and roll it forward. I always hear my shoulder cartilage popping here. Or whatever. I guess I can't be certain what's popping. And then do whatever, maybe forward and back. Something, a good shake, yes, that's always good too. Go ahead and inhale, reach your arms directly overhead, and reach over to your right side, right side. We'll do this. I'm not as good with remembering that to say the opposite. Exhale and bring it over to the left side. The half moon pose. Just kind of to pair our movement with our breath for a little bit. Go ahead and inhale as you go bend over. Exhale as you straighten up. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and lower it back down. And get a slight bend in your knees as we go ahead. Inhale, circle the sun. And have your hands facing one another. You can bring your shoulders down a little bit. Don't let it hug too much. And then look up, or if that's too much strain on your neck, just look over here, look directly in front of you.
I'll come over here and finish warming up with you.
Okay. And then exhale, bring it down. We'll go ahead, so we've done some upper body stuff, we'll go ahead and do some lower body warm-up. Inhale again, bring your arms, and exhale, bend halfway. Yes, try to have the crown of your head facing towards me. Your back should be flat. And reaching your hands, the crown of your head towards me. Exhale, go ahead and bend forward, and you can make sure that your belly's soft here. Inhale, hang a little deeper. Exhale, release the gripping in your tailbone. If you need to rock back and forth, you can. And then find stillness, making sure that you're looking directly behind you. And then bending your knees, go ahead and slowly circle the sun again. And exhale. I guess one thing we didn't do was what Dr. Mink is doing out there. So we'll do that real quick. Bring your left hand up and walk it over to the side. Stretching your hand, facing it down towards the ground. Making sure that your upper body is in alignment too, so you can look over your right shoulder. back. Also, one of my favorite things is the 3-part inhale. So all in the inhale, you have your hands on front of you to the side, let your palms touch, and then back to back. Exhale is when you start your exhale. So inhale, palms back to back, and exhale. One more time. And exhale. Very good. Lift your right arm now. And then walk it over to the other side. You can have your hand dangling here, your left arm dangling. And then go ahead and exhale. Very good. And then if you need to do anything else to your body, go ahead and listen to it as Dr. Mink comes up. And yes, I have it going, Dr. Mink.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So come into alignment. Tadasana, big toes lightly touching, ball mounts below the big toes lightly touching, heels slightly apart. Just so that I may join you and welcome with Namaste.
Namaste.
Align your hands, big circle, as though you're encircling the full moon. It will be coming out again, no doubt. So today we're going to go through the moon salute and get to the point of standing on the moon and introduce and explore some different poses that we haven't as of yet. Take both hands directly overhead, draw the skin tightly across the palms. Extend energy up and out through your fingertips. Inhale, and now as you exhale, stretch both arms to the side. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in and out. Inhale, exhale. And once more, breathe in, out, in, and out. Arms overhead, once again, collapse the hands to the elbows, come halfway, reach towards me, fold forward, hang here for several breaths like a rag doll. Perhaps you already did this with Clancy, but if you would help me continue to loosen up as well, that would be wonderful. And now bend the knee slightly, disengage your fingers from your elbows, float your arms out to the side, overhead, slowly unfold. Touch the palms together, hands back to back, and exhale. So if you would please turn your mat so that they're parallel to mine, so you'll have to kind of reconfigure yourselves. Stand in the middle of your mat. Take a step out to the right and a step out to the left. So this is star pose. Introducing internal hip openers. You want to make sure your toes are facing directly forward or even slightly turned in. If you turn your feet out like this, then that's external hip rotation, where the heads of the femurs enter the hip sockets. Now, just be careful, those of you who still have socks on, it's possible that even though you're on a mat, you can slip with some of these movements, so either, be particularly careful about that or take your socks off. Oh, you got little grippies?
Grippy socks.
You got your little yoga socks?
Yeah.
Excellent. Bring your arms out to the side, palms parallel to the mat. Just gently draw your shoulder blades together. Pick a point somewhere behind me. Oh, maybe one of the candles. And really focus your gaze, your drishti, on one of these points. In my yoga classes, we're at the point in the semester where we're focusing on the fourth and fifth limbs of yoga, which are pratyahara and dharana. Sense withdrawal and concentration to help us find contentment in our crazy, over-stimulated world where we're so often here and imbalanced. So to be able to concentrate, not only in a pose, but when we breathe and whatever. So yes, anytime you may need to release your shoulders down from here, do so. Otherwise, we're going to stay here 10 minutes and really concentrate. One of the niyamas is self-discipline. And the way we begin to focus on self-discipline in yoga is not through our flow movements, but our standing and staying here movements. No, I'm just teasing. We're not going to do 10 minutes. 8 minutes.
Oh, that's better.
Inhale, exhale, and release your arms down. Just kind of swing them back and forth. And now arms back up, collapse the hands to the elbows the way we did previously. Come halfway, reach forward, and now with your legs extended and spread, continue to fold forward. And let the weight of your forearms, the crown of your head, your shoulders, and gravity open up the spacing in between your vertebrae. Keep your belly very soft. And even if you would gently like to swing from side to side, just hang here like a rag doll. And of course, now you're extending your gaze directly behind you. So focus on a point. Make sure the very crown of your head is hanging down towards the mat. So when we were standing up with our arms extended, that's star pose. And now we're preparing to wave to the moon in the moon salute. But as Clancy will tell you, I like to add a number of other things at this point, so we'll do so in just a few moments. Anytime you need to take a break, especially if you begin to feel a little dizzy or lightheaded, of course, do so. But otherwise now, release your hands from your elbows and just post them down on the mat below your shoulders. Continue to hang your head down and extend your gaze behind you. With intention, bring your awareness to where the heads of the femurs enter the hip sockets. And with intention, turn them in towards your center line. Kind of turn where the heads of the femurs enter the hip sockets, turn them in towards your center line. Make sure the very crown of your head is hanging down. Yeah, and looking directly behind you, or as best you can. And now when you're ready, just slowly begin to bring your back parallel to the mat. Take your arms now out to the side. Slowly unfold and come back to star pose. Hands to the elbows once again. Come halfway. Reach forward. And now let go of the elbows and extend the arms forward. Create some length in the back body. And then when you're ready, continue to fold forward, but keeping the arms extended all the way down. And now slide both hands or both sets of fingers out over your left toes or down towards your left foot. Try not to reach your nose to your knee, but rather extend your forehead, extend your nose towards your foot. People almost automatically want to try to take the nose to the knee, and that actually kind of shortens the midsection. You want to keep length in the side body, in the back body. So reach your nose towards your toes. Inhale, exhale. Come on back to neutral, which is with your hands, your fingertips posted right down below your shoulders. And continue to let the crown of your head face down and extend your gaze behind you. Now when you're ready, slide both hands to the right foot, or perhaps the left foot if you did the right foot already. These spread leg poses with our head hanging down, going to either side, are variations of what's called Prasarita Padottanasana. Prasarita Padottanasana. Always return your focus to your breath once we set up the details of a pose, and breathe with steady, easy breaths. With sthira sukham, with sthira sukham, with steadiness and ease. And now release, come back to neutral. Scoot your feet towards one another just a little bit. Still keep a wide stance, but at least bring them a little closer. Once again, unfold the arms out to the side. Slowly come up. Bend the knees slightly, palms together, and step your feet together. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to go back to star pose. Hands on the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit to open the chest, expand the heart area. Once again, halfway, reach the crown of your head towards me, and then keeping your hands on your hips. Continue to fold forward and extend your gaze behind you. So we're going to introduce, or if you've been here before, when we've done this, several versions of Prasarita. And then we'll move on in the moon salute. Continue to draw the elbows, the shoulder blades together to engage the pectorals. Breathe with steadiness and with ease. Whenever you're ready, slowly unfold. Come back up, keeping your hands on your hips. Back to star pose. Arms overhead. Come halfway. Reach with your arms extended. And now with this next variation, you have several options now at this point. You can either keep your hands down below your shoulders. You can reach your hands out towards your feet. And this next one, traditionally, you take your first finger and your middle finger and wrap them inside your big toe. Spread your stance a little bit and post your thumbs down on the mat. And now with your head hanging down below your shoulders, you sort of open your elbows towards the front to broaden across your upper back. You know who does this pose extremely, extremely, extremely well?
No.
Is Macy from your class.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Could be that she's a yoga instructor. But I
Recommend.
noticed that Saturday morning that we were showing, it was, I mean, really, really, really opening up the back and the elbows and all of that. Although, as I look up at you guys are doing extremely well. So take that, Macy. You know?
Yeah.
And now release your hands from your feet if that's where they are. Come back and post them down below your shoulders. And we'll just do one more variation, or you can continue any of the previous variations. But this last one, which is typically most challenging, at least for the majority of folks, it may or may not be for you, but you're going to reach your hands behind your back, interlock your fingers, and then kind of roll your shoulders, your back shoulders from side to side to open them up, and then try to straighten your arms directly overhead or even past perpendicular, reaching your hands towards me. You're continuing to internally rotate the heads of the femurs towards your center line. Opening the shoulders. Excellent. Excellent. Try to relax, the deltoids and the shoulders as much as you can, even though this is a challenging pose often. And now release your hands down to your tailbone or your lower back. Disengage the fingers. Post them down once again below the shoulders. And either stay here or maybe come up into Tadasana if you need to take a pause right now. But otherwise, for those of you who would like, spread your stance even wider and try to take the very crown of your head as closely down to the mat as you can. If you're actually able to touch the crown of your head down to the mat, just don't put any weight on the crown of your head or your neck. This is the ultimate version of Pasarita Padottanasana. And now slowly straighten your arms. Keep them posted down below your shoulders. Bend your knees slightly and begin to scoot your feet towards your hands. When your feet are just slightly outside your hands, make sure your toes are facing forward. Squat down, basically bringing your thighs as close to parallel as you can. Place your hands in a prayer hand position and tuck your elbows inside your inner knees. And now as you slowly draw your hands towards your heart and elevate the fingers in a prayer hand position, you'll be pushing the elbows into the inner edges of the knees to stretch even more of the pelvic floor. If you're able, try to extend your gaze forward. But if you feel any neck strain, then don't look forward, just kind of look down. But this is one of the Malasanas, goddess squats. It's not a classic squat where you take your bottom down below the angle of your thighs, but you try to keep your thighs parallel to the mat. This is not part of the moon salute, but as I mentioned, Clancy knows that I insert a number of other things here. Release, straighten your legs, step your feet and your hands together. For several breaths, hang here like a rag doll in full forward fold. Belly soft. As you inhale, as you inhale, try to hang a little deeper. Exhale, release the gripping around the tailbone. Press the inner edges of your feet towards the outer edges. Resist the shins back into the calves. In full forward fold to truly reap the benefits, you're supposed to stay here for about a minute. We won't quite do that today, but as you exhale, release the gripping. Relax and release around the tailbone. And now as you finish the breath you're working on, gently bend your knees just a little bit. Slowly unfold. Take several breaths to unfold. Back to back and exhale. I want you to now turn your attention to the music, Krishna Das, as you stand with your feet about hip width apart, arms overhead but wider than shoulder width apart. Draw the skin tightly across the palms. Lift your chin, lift your heart. Breathe directly into and out of your heart. As you inhale, draw the breath into your heart center. As you exhale, radiate your breath out into the universe. And as you do so, listen to this part of the CD. There's energy. You can add a little rhythmic movement if you'd like. And now as you inhale, let's add the arm and a hand motion. Bring your hands towards your heart. Inhale. As you exhale, radiate your breath out into the universe. Inhale into the heart center. Into your heart center with the inhale. Exhale, radiate your breath out into the universe. Krishna Das, rock star of yoga music. Relax, bring your arms down, shake out your shoulders. We're now going to wave to the moon. Belly soft, spinal twist. When we introduce the moon salute to toddlers, they take it literally and they wave to the moon with their hand at the end. So if you'd like to add the hand wave, do so. Otherwise, you'll just be twisting the spine and extending. So we come back to star pose. Remember, toes facing directly forward. Try not to slip. Anchor yourself. So it looks like this. You're going to reach forward, slide the left hand down below the heart. As you, with your belly soft, twist the spine, wave to the moon, or at least reach and extend your fingertips up. You turn and look over the raised shoulder. And then you exhale, come down, slide that hand down below the heart, and go to the other side. Okay? So we'll start on your left side, my right side. Reach down. Slide your hand down below your heart. Twist and raise your left arm overhead. Wave to the moon if you would like. Exhale, bring that arm down. Slide it down below your heart. And again, at the very peak, try to reach your fingertips just slightly higher. Belly soft. twist the spine. When you do spinal twists, and perhaps in particular when you do moving spinal twists like this, when you keep your belly soft, you actually massage your internal organs. So continue at your own pace. Excellent. Wow, you're all able to go past the perpendicular. That's awesome. Whichever side you're on now, as you reach up, stay there for several breaths now. Twist the spine, reach the fingers up. Continue to internally rotate the heads of the femurs in towards your center line. Inhale, exhale, release that arm down. Go to the other side. Stay here for several. Proceed again at your own pace. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more on whatever side you're on. Breathe in, out as you lower the arm. Now to the other side, reach, breathe in. Push your hands right down below your shoulders. Bend the knee slightly. Come up on your fingertips as you walk your feet towards your hands. When they're slightly outside your hands, squat down. Come up on the balls of your feet, your fingertips. Bring your hands together. Try to hop your feet together. Unfold, overhead reach. And exhale. Excellent. Come back to star pose. We're now standing on the moon. So when we're standing on the moon, we can do whatever poses we want. So we'll start with, we'll do a couple here today. We'll start with warrior two. So open your left foot and your left hip 90 degrees. And reach towards Clancy's wonderful moon salute collage. Ground that back foot into the mat. Ground the head of the femur up into the hip socket. Bend that your left knee, at most over your ankle, not past your ankle. Arms up parallel to the mat. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Now, be a warrior, and how that translates to this pose is to really be strong and stable. Raise your back arm just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. And what that would mean is that back in the old days when I was permitted to touch you, which we will get back to at some point, I would try to sneak up behind people and try to push them off balance. No, not like that. Look at Dr. Court. She took only one Krav Maga class, but she still remembers that. We did some Krav yesterday, right?
Yeah.
In your class, yeah. So turn that foot, there you go, good. And raise that back arm. Excellent. Yep. Very nice. So again, you can imagine I'd be trying to push you and you wouldn't let me push you. Raise your back arm. Good. Turn and look that way. Oh, look at that alignment. Virabhadrasana 2. When you're ready, now straighten the leg. Keep your arms up. Bend that knee again. This time, rest the forearm across the thigh. Initially, take the arm directly overhead. Turn and look up. And now, extend the arm overhead. Take your armpit right to your ear. Try to keep that arm as straight as possible. Palm facing down. Inhale, exhale, straighten that leg. Come on back up. To, what is this?
Star pose.
Star pose. Excellent. And now we'll go to the other side. Okay. Open not only the foot 90 degrees, but also you want to turn that hip 90 degrees. Bend the knee. Again, don't go past the ankle, at most here, maybe slightly back. This back foot is not turned all that much, just a little bit, okay? But it is facing towards me. There you go, good. What's your name again?
And beyond.
Okay, yes, so turn, good, okay. And up, and turn and look over the right shoulder, okay? Now, I want you to look forward, okay? We don't have mirrors in here, and some yoga studios have mirrors to help with alignment. A lot don't, so that it's not an appearance, competition, kind of thing. Whether they have mirrors or not, I mean, the mirrors can at least help see where your arms are. But ideally, you want to learn how to adjust the height of your arms and your alignment and whatever without using a mirror or other tools. So close your eyes for a moment and particularly check out your back arm. See if you can sense if it's lower than parallel or if it's higher than parallel, and see if you can adjust it. So very good. You're using your internal senses as a guide. Very good. Yes. Bend that knee just a little bit more if you can. Good. Make sure the knee is aligned over the ankle, that it's not twisting in. That bent knee, sometimes they twist in. If that happens, that's really not good for the ligaments, so keep this up. And now straighten the leg. Bend the knee, as we did earlier. Rest forearm. Extend that arm overhead. Turn and look up. Hey, Randy. And now extend it. And this is where, check your knee, because this is where it can turn in. So keep it right down below your ankle. In Hatha Yoga, the structure of the pose, the alignment of the pose, is more important than the depth of the pose or anything else. Because once we structure the bones, the ligaments, the alignment of the pose, according to Hatha Yoga philosophy, the flow of the life force, prana, is enhanced. And now slowly straighten that leg. Come on back up. Star pose. Collapse the hands to the elbows. Come halfway. And forward. Release the hands down. We'll reverse the circuit very quickly. A couple of waves to the moon. Post your hands down below your shoulders. Close your stance just a little bit. Take your arms out to the side. Unfold up to star pose. Scoot your feet a little bit closer. Half moon. And we'll finish with 3 full moons. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in and out. And in and out. Okay, find your way down to your mat. Lay flat. Uttanasana, knees to chest pose. Keep your tailbone, your sacrum flat on the mat. Flex your toes back towards your knees. Place your cupped hands on the tops of your shins towards your knee. As you inhale, draw your knees a little closer to your chest, to your heart. As you exhale, press your shins into the palms of your hands. Again, keep the tailbone flat on the mat. If the tailbone comes way up, then release it down. Inhale, draw the knees closer. Exhale, press the shins into the palm. Trying to open up those front hip flexors. Go ahead, can you lower your feet down? There you go. Draw in and then press. And then draw in and press. And that opens up here. Sure. Breathe with steady, easy breath. And now, as you finish the breath you're working on, let go of your hands on your knees and just float your feet down to the mat. Take your arms and reach them down along the edges of your mat, spreading the fingers and pressing through the ball mounts below the first finger, kind of turning the angle of your fingers in towards your hips. Slide your feet and your knees about hip width apart, not all the way to the edges of your mat, but about hip width apart. We're going to bridge Setu Bandha for several breaths, and then we're going to move up and down through Setu Bandha, which is bridge pose. So walk your heels now up towards your bottom, but keep the angle of your shins slightly forward from your knee down to your ankle. Make sure that angle is still slightly forward. When you're ready now, breathe in. And now as you exhale, bridge and lift up towards the ceiling, pressing your tailbone up through the pubic bone, pressing the navel towards the ceiling. Roll your front shoulders from side to side to tuck them as far beneath your back as you can. Lift the chin. And as we did earlier, breathe directly into and out of your heart. Obviously, the quads are firing, but do so even more. If you have a block and want to squeeze it in between your knees, do so. Otherwise, imagine that you have a block and draw the outer edges of your knees towards the inner edges. Look at that, another 3 inches. Nope, you're already there. You're already there. Now, if you'd like, you can interlock your fingers and stretch your arms flat against the mat in the move similar to what we were doing in Prasarita. And again, lift the heart. This really opens the chest as well as the shoulders. And now when you're ready, release your hands from behind your back. Take them down along the edges of your mat. Breathe in, and now as you exhale, lower your tailbone down. So now we're just going to inhale and press up, pressing the tailbone up through the pubic bone, reaching the navel towards the ceiling, opening the chest. Exhale, release down. And when you touch down, press with firmness the tailbone, the sacrum down into the mat, engaging your abdominals. Inhale, press up. Press the tailbone up through the pubic bone, reach the navel towards the ceiling. Open the heart, lower down, and flatten the tailbone. Engage the abdominals. Several times at your own pace. Once more, lift the chest, lift the heart, press up. And now, vertebra by vertebra, articulate slowly down. Until your sacrum and tailbone touch down. Keep your left knee bent, straighten the right leg, walk the heel forward, flex the toes back towards your knees. Take both hands, interlock the fingers on your upper right shin. Draw that left knee towards your chin as you inhale. Exhale, press the shin into the containment. Inhale, draw that knee closer. Exhale, press into the containment. With that extended leg, try to press behind the knee down into the mat. Excellent. Flex the toes back. Dorsiflexion. And try to press that down. Good. Dorsiflexion is when you pull the toes or flex the toes back towards the knee. You're trying to extend the extended leg as far as it will go, and you're trying to contract the bent knee as tightly as it can go. This is a wonderful asana example of the term hatha, sun, moon. So in my way of thinking, the extended leg is sun and the condensed leg is moon, or vice versa. Finish the breath you're working on, release that bent knee down, straighten that leg, and repeat on the other side. Again, walk the extended leg, walk the heel forward, flex the toes back, press behind the knee, press the hamstring down into the mat. Inhale, draw the bent knee closer up to the armpit. Exhale, press the shin into the containment. Inhale, up closer. Exhale, press into the containment. One more inhalation. And press into the containment. And now, release that leg down. Bend both knees. Allow the inner edges of your knees, the inner edges of your feet to be slightly touching. Reach your arms overhead, palms facing up. Draw your hands away from one another to allow the elbows to bend. And then allow your thighs, your knees, your hips to fall open and away from one another. Just keeping ever so gently the soles of your feet touching. With intention, stretch the pelvic floor. Pull your knees away from one another. And then release any muscular work and just let gravity take over. Release your inner ears down towards the mat. Relax your tongue. Relax the very back of your throat. And then also release and relax the soft palate. Focus on your breath and listen to your breath like the waves of the ocean. Ujjayi, Ujjayi breathing. Frog pose. And now, before we enter Shavasana, straighten both legs, interlock your fingers, and place your hands behind your head. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And now, pull the knees and the hips apart and hold for several breaths. You're crossing your ankles, but you're pulling your knees, your hips apart. Unless, of course, you feel any strain or pain or whatever, then don't do so. And now as you exhale, release the tension. Uncross the right ankle, cross the left ankle, same thing. Pull the knees and the hips apart from one another. Kind of stretching that pelvic floor. And now finish the breath you're working on. Take your hands out from behind your head. Uncross the ankles. Rest your arms down along the edges of your mat, allowing the armpits, the inner elbows, and the palms to face up. Let your hips, your knees, your ankles, and your feet fall open and away from one another. Away from your spine, away from your center line. Continue your ocean breathing, Ujjayi. So before we leave the mat today, we're going to have you set an intention. Take a survey of what, at least for me, and I hope for you, right now is a wonderful array of sensations. Had a beautiful warm-up with cleansing. And then the moon salute and some standing on the moon poses, a bit of work down on the mat. You know, take a survey and kind of acknowledge what you're feeling physically, emotionally perhaps, spiritually, whatever. You know, likely a combination of feeling warm and centered, but also light and energized and empowered, I hope. Empowered, for sure. Create a physical cue right now, something that I can see. Either where you place your hand on your heart, or connect a thumb to one of your fingers, or interlock your fingers on your abdomen. But create a physical cue. Mine is, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like a down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." So mine is always laying a finger aside of his nose. So with this cue, lock in this wonderful array of sensations that you're experiencing right now. And at some point later this day, you know, perhaps when you catch yourself being tense or overwhelmed or overloaded, or maybe simply when you say, what a beautiful sunshiny Friday once again. But stop whatever you're doing and take a few moments to come into alignment and perform this cue. Or maybe you'd like to lay down and perform this cue. And then re-experience this lovely moment later in your day. When you're ready now, gently turn to your right side and curl up in a fetal position. In case you have to run, it is 12:01, so otherwise, we'll share a quick little closure. And now with your heads heavy, so you don't get dizzy or vertigo, unfold, come up into a seated posture. And now find your way up into a standing position, Tadasana. Finish with our arms over the crown chakra, third eye, throat, heart. And please repeat, if you would be so inclined, out loud. May I be well.
May I be well.
May I be happy and peaceful.
May I be happy and peaceful.
May I be free from all danger and suffering.
May I be free from all danger and suffering.
May I be filled with loving kindness.
May I be filled with loving kindness.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Give yourselves a hand.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Absolutely.